Hey, thanks for joining the training. My name's Chris, and you may have seen my other training videos as you've joined our team here at Acceleration Enterprises. And we're going to go ahead and continue the trainings for those of you that are client success representatives. So, client success is also known as customer service because we're a marketing agency. We deal in services. We have clients who pay us retainers and fees on an ongoing basis. And so it is much more of a relationship-based business. We don't just deal in transactional customers necessarily, but the two things can be quite interchangeable throughout this training as far as customers and clients, no problem. So basically what I'm going to go over is what the client success representative training is going to look like, and the key points that we're going to touch on throughout the training in this summary. So we're going to go through these item by item, and so you know exactly what to expect in our 5-star high quality client success representative training. Now, this training is tilted a little bit more towards our marketing agency and consulting services agency. But my goal in this training is that if you're part of my organization or you're taking this training, is that you can take these skills into any sort of customer service environment, in any sort of client service environment with these high quality trainings. So the first item is understanding what our general scope of work is and our terms of service. So it's important because operating a business without understanding the scope of work for client services or understanding a product like for a customer is like trying to bake a cake without really knowing the recipe. You might end up with a hot mess instead of a sweet success, right? So, on the other hand, running a business with a full grasp of client services is like being a master chef with a detailed cookbook. Every dish turns out just right, impressing your guests or your clients every time. So it is important to understand the full scope of work, exactly what we do for our clients and what is within that scope of work. The next item that we're going to be training on is as normal work is completed, we need to test and verify everything with the clients, as well as celebrating proof of work with the clients. Proof of work is important because it enhances client relations. Just completing a job for a client obviously is good, and that's what we've agreed to do with our clients, or delivering like a product or service, but actually verifying delivery of services is very important, and showing proof of work is very important because it's like, completing work without testing and verifying. It's kind of like when you're giving services to a client, you're wrapping up a gift and providing it to them. And then, you didn't really make sure of what the gift was inside. It might look nice because you wrapped it up and you made a gift, but it's not really going to impress anyone if they open it and they find what's inside is broken or actually missing, right? So you need to test and verify everything before celebrating with proof of work. So that way it's like you want to be right there with the client when they unwrap their gift to reveal the perfect present that's inside, so you can not only prove that what you've done is there and the job is right, but it also provides this great opportunity to build delight with a client, build trust with them, and have a celebration, which is really actually what we want to do when we prove our work and show proof of work along the way, even if it's just kind of like in little increments and things like that. Communication flow is the next item. How to handle client communications. Client comms are the cornerstone, and the standard process that we use is highly important to follow, as communication is the, what makes you a client success representative. Your primary job is to communicate. So consistent failure to follow the workflow that I train you on and implement will result in termination in our organization, because this workflow is key. It's crucial. This particular workflow is one of the keys to 5-star service and one of the hallmarks of amazing client or customer service that sets many high-quality organizations apart from others where client success reps or customer service reps are simply just doing a job, or actually providing care to the customers with high attention to detail, which is what we want to do. Okay, so following a specific flow and being trained on this flow is going to lead you to much higher levels of success because it's going to direct you to a higher attention to detail when communicating with clients to achieve goals and tasks. So the next item is taking custom requests from clients, whether it's by phone, on a Zoom meeting, through text message, email, and then how we document that process, and then create action items for working within the team, asking questions to key team members or experts within the team, and making sure we have a nice trail of proof regarding questions and communications in our project management software, and not just leaving communications kind of everywhere throughout email and text messages and Zoom meetings and things like this. Operating without a plan for communication tools and proper documentation is kind of like trying to navigate the jungle, like a deep jungle in South America or Africa or something, with a broken compass and no map and a very difficult terrain. You're probably going to get lost, and good luck explaining where you end up. So having a clear plan and properly documenting client communication is like exploring that same jungle with GPS, a detailed guidebook, and great navigation technology. You'll always be able to know where you are. You can retrace your steps, and you're there with the client, leading them through this jungle, and they're going to feel like they're on a well-guided adventure rather than a wild goose chase where they feel like they're in danger and no one really knows what's going on or where they're at. Documentation is the bread trail that keeps everybody on the right path through the journey and ensures no one gets left behind. And so it's important training in regards to documentation. Warm transferring is the next item. Warm transferring is very important cornerstone of our business as well, as far as being a key to teamwork. So if you've ever called like a utility number, an 800 number, to accomplish some kind of action, like getting an account credit, returning a product, or to help resolve an error a company made, and you have to speak to more than one person, there's nothing more annoying than explaining your story to multiple people multiple times, being disconnected and told you need to be transferred to another department. Then you know the frustration of dealing with an organization that does not warm transfer their clients. A cold transfer is what happens when there's no training or plan in place to create more cohesive customer service in a team. A warm transfer is what we focus on to create a much more cohesive team working environment for our clients, so they get the benefit of efficient teamwork to accomplish their goals. Okay, so the next item we train on is how to handle client complaints and concerns. We have a specific plan for this, a specific process that works very well, that is very reliable and helps you become more autonomous in your problem solving and handling client complaints through this process. And usually when client complaints or concerns arise, this is the point in business that really separates the professionals from the people doing an entry-level job. Professionals are autonomous in handling customer complaints and resolving concerns. People that are just doing their job usually will escalate complaints or concerns 100% of the time. They will immediately escalate these, and this makes for a very unproductive team working environment. Client and customer complaints are normal. There's no businesses that do not encounter any complaints or concerns from clients and customers. It's just a normal thing, and having a training and plan to handle this is key. Handling client complaints without a plan is like trying to put out a kitchen fire with a water squirt gun. You're just going to end up making things worse and might burn down the whole kitchen. Addressing client complaints by following a structured plan is like being a firefighter with a full hose and a rescue plan. You not only put out the fire, but also save the day and reassure everyone that the kitchen is safe again and the fire is out. Okay? The next item we're going to talk about is using our agency-specific tools like ClickUp, Facebook Business Manager, and Go High Level. These are all software tools that we use to provide proper client management with the technology we use on a day-to-day basis. Okay, these are more technology-specific trainings, kind of generalized. Then we're going to talk about Zoom meetings. Conducting Zoom meetings is a very modern way of communication nowadays, especially for businesses like ours, and a marketing agency or consulting agency. Conducting Zoom meetings properly makes a huge impact on client trust or customer trust. Conducting Zoom video meetings with proper presentation is like inviting guests over to your home for dinner. and realizing your kitchen's a mess, your stove is broken, and you forgot to cook. It's awkward, it's chaotic, and it definitely does not build trust. It's the same thing when you just start a Zoom meeting with no plan and no training in place. So on the other hand, preparing thoroughly for Zoom meetings, training for it, understanding what you want to do, and planning ahead is like hosting a perfectly planned dinner party. The table is set, the food is delicious, and everyone feels welcome and impressed. And that's what we want in our organization, to provide 5-star client service and customer care. In the end, a well-conducted Zoom meeting leaves the client feeling confident and satisfied, like they just enjoyed a delightful evening at a well-hosted event. The last item we're going to touch on in the training is Google Voice. For phone work, where we use text messaging and phone calls in our virtual office, so that we can provide high-quality customer care. And this is a required training so that you understand our policy and procedure around phone service, how we use the phone, how we use text messaging. We prefer Google Voice because it's a simple tool, and we can use it universally for our virtual office number. So this is a phone training, is the last item, which is very crucial and very important to high quality customer care, client care. And those are the items we're going to cover in this training. Thank you for watching the summary, and I look forward to seeing you in the training.